me and then a separate split screen of you and me.
I,
Oh,
I
look
have,
at that.
yeah.
It says our stream is live. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Witches Winging It with me, Buffy, and my co-hostess with the mostest, my witchy poo sister, Jen Dotson. How you doing, Jen?
Good. How are you?
Oh, just peachy keen. Long time no hear from anybody.
It feels like it's been a long time.
It has definitely been a long time. So, what have you been doing other than being under the weather, ma'am?
Not much. Like, it's just still trying to get the house together. We painted downstairs, and we just got to get that back together and everything situated so we can decorate for Christmas when that time comes around. And
Right.
but other than that, that's about it. Just getting the house back together.
Oh
Used
my
to be when we were younger, we could paint and get everything done and back together like within like 48 hours. And we're older now, so it's like, I'm tired.
And that happens all the time. You know, you get a year older and then all of a sudden, you know, you had all this energy when you were a kid. Yay, let's put Christmas stuff up. And then all of a sudden, now that we're, you know, at a certain age, we're like, really? Do we have to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I even said I was going to decorate outside this year for Halloween, and every day ticked by, and next thing I know, it was Halloween, and I didn't put a dang thing out.
Well, that would have been different for me, but you know, I live with someone who really does not dislikes Halloween terribly. So
I love
you
Halloween
know,
and everything, but I mean, my room up here is, it stays witchy all year long, so
oh yeah,
there's
that's like my
spirit in
office.
here. So
Yeah, there's my office, which is not done yet. I mean, I did put the paint on, and then we do have the curtain behind now. I actually went and bought the Harry Potter floating lights.
oh, we had
So
those. Well,
they
we bought them for Bruce's sister for Christmas when
did
she
you?
was staying with us, and she
Mm-hmm.
put them up on the back porch, and they were really cool.
I have yet to put them up because I have not had a weekend where I can actually just put crap up and leave it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
well, it was witchy season or spooky season. So spooky season, I'm always so dang busy. I don't know what made me even busier this year. Like I won't have. We were talking before we went on air. I won't have a free weekend until the second week of December, which is like really. I mean, I'll have a day after that because I'm back and forth between, you know, Ringtown and here, and then my personal clients, and then next Thursday is my Friday because I'll be up in Gettysburg for
Ooh.
Remembrance Weekend. I think it's the 161st anniversary of the Gettysburg Address.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
Oh gosh, it's parties, balls, teas, everybody, fun and fun and drive, fun and drive. Look, the brain is not working today. It's dyslexic. Fife and drum corps will be everywhere, up and down Baltimore Street, Steinway, Taneytown Road, everywhere, playing and just having a good old time, hooping it up in front of the Dobbins house, which is where they mostly congregate. That and O'Rourke's, which is across the street, where all of the Celtic members of the drum and fife corps will be hanging out and battling it out. So that'll be good. Well, I'll go to a ball and eat dinner and get all fancified and pretty. So hopefully, hello to that one person that we have that's watching. Oh my goodness. I thought I saw Hexie there for a minute. She was back in there.
She might have been.
Yeah, this is before we went on air. She was climbing on the back of the couch, but anywho.
Yeah,
So
been a little honoring already.
Maven went and hid. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah, she keeps trying to knock my soda over.
Yeah.
And she's like, walks over to it and she does a little paw thing, and I'm like, ah, ah, ah. And then she stops and puts her paw down, but she won't look at me. She just side eyes me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to
Oh
you.
yeah. It's something about them black cats. They like to side eye a lot. I can't say, you know, that Maven doesn't give me the side eye, because she side eyes me too. Um, she had to go to the vet for her shots, and I had to drug her because Ahmed the terrorist does not like being at the vet. She attacks everyone. She has been known to manhandle some people in the back of the exam rooms, and
Wow.
so giving her the drugs was hilarious because she fought it so bad. She was in the office here, and I shut the door so that she didn't fall down the steps. I was so afraid that, once she got loopy, she was going to try and make it for the steps. So I locked the door, and she was steady, staring at the curtain, blowing and doing this. She was staring at the curtain, and all of a sudden,
I've seen trails.
and chemtrails, and then she's like this, starting to lean, and then she goes over. Like that was funny because they made me take her back, but then I had to leave, so I left and came out in the waiting room. And the one, I guess, head front desk woman was cleaning up a little bit because we were the last patient of the night, so cleaning up. And I said, this is either going really good or really bad, because I haven't heard anything. Like, no crying, no shouting from other people, no saying, get her mom, oh, get the gloves out. So they came back out, and the one cute little girl who's the one of the vet techs, her name is Violet. Violet came out. I said, I guess she was good because I didn't hear anything. She goes, oh no, she just hissed at me, but that's all. She said she likes the drugs. We're going to continue to give her the drugs every time she comes in here. And she said, I didn't even have to get out the metal gloves or the muzzle this time. Like, okay. This little cat, attacks people like she's a wild hyena, apparently. I've not been witness to this, but just saying. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? You got any ideas?
So no, my brain has been fried since I was down and out over the weekend and stuff. But I did see something, and I was going to bring it up. And I don't know if you saw anything about it, but apparently in Scotland, they seen a white stag, and apparently very rare. And I guess the legend is over in Scotland is when you see the white stag, it means that the Fae are going to return. So I thought that was very interesting, and kind of looked up a little bit on the Fae and read a little bit, and because I read some stories that have Fae, but they are definitely not like what we read and like what they say they are.
Not at all. Not at all. People, as soon as they see, they hear Fae or they hear fairies, it's like, oh, they think of Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell was not a fairy, honey. She's a pixie. Something completely different. That's why when you go to Disneyland and you see those little the Tinkerbells, and they come with the jar full of the dust, it says pixie dust, not fairy dust, pixie dust. Fairies, unless you have a really good relationship with the Fae, or you have an extremely green thumb and you are of the witchy variety, can you have a working relationship so much kind of with the Fae? They can be very spiteful. They can be very nasty. And if they get in your house, they can cause a whole lot of mischief. And then you're calling people like me and my crew to come get them, because they have been extremely bad, opening cabinets and letting, sugar exploding all over the place and flour everywhere, and cabinet doors open, refrigerators opening, refrigerator lights staying on, lights flickering. They love kitchens for some reason. And they love stealing things,
Mhm.
shiny little objects like keys, buttons, change, shoes, and it always seems to be like the left shoe. That's all they steal is the left shoe.
Just
I don't. I have no idea. But my uncle used to tell us about the stories about, or the fables about the white stag, and that is a big thing when it comes to Celtic folklore.
Mhm.
Even the Irish and the Welsh believe in the white stag, and if you
Mhm.
see one, that means that things are going to upheave, or they're going to turn or unbalance themselves to where the Fae are actually going to show up again and start trying to take over things,
Mhm.
because we have not been doing a good job, to say the least, of taking care of the earth at all. And they're pissed if you see the white stag.
Yeah.
Don't know if that has anything to do with the harvest moon as well, or the beaver moon, excuse me, the beaver moon that was recently on the 5th. So I don't know if you got a chance to see the beaver moon, the super moon that we had
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, this is how it goes in my house. So 2 days before the full moon, Bruce goes outside and he comes in and he goes, I think it's a full moon. And now I already knew the full moon was on the 5th. So I was like, no, it's not the full moon. And he goes, yeah, he goes, I think it is. And I was like, it's not. But I was like, I'll come out and indulge you. So I went out and I looked and I said, nope. I said, we're still missing a sliver there on the bottom half of it. I was like, right there. And he's like, no. He's like, you better look it up. And I was like, geez, Louise. And we do this every month. Every month we do this. We go through this. And I pulled it up and I said, I'll pull it up for you. I said, but I already know it's on the 5th. Pulled it up, showed him, see, the 5th. And he was like, okay. So then the very next night, we're still a day away. He's like, it's a full moon. I'm like, it's not.
Oh, wow.
So then
Well,
when the 5th came around, I go and it gets dark and the moon starts rising. And I looked over Bruce and said, hey, guess what? It's a full moon.
Poor Bruce. He could never win. He could never win.
No.
I don't know if any of you were able to see, and once I say this, I'll address. Desiree jumped into the chat and has a question, but for some of us, you could see Pleiades, which are the 7 sisters, which is the cluster of stars that goes way back to Greek mythology about the Pleiades and the 7 sisters in Greek mythology. We can get into that, but that would take forever. That's a whole nother show all unto itself. But some people will ask, why do they have names? Like, do you know why they call it the beaver moon?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, the beaver moon, a lot of the moons, like the stag moon, the sturgeon moon, strawberry moon, harvest moon, all of these were named from the Native Americans. The Native Americans knew when to plant, when to harvest, when to stay close to their family by the moons. They would watch the animals. And this past super moon that we had, which was, in coincidence, the brightest and closest that we will have, I believe, in the next 2 coming years of full moons. They call it a beaver moon because this is the time of year where the beavers start going inward. You'll see less and less of them in the rivers. You will see that they have started to hibernate because the weather is changing. During the beaver moon is when the beavers start getting busy with shoring up their dens, shoring up the dams, going inward, making sure that they are protected, making sure that everything on the inside of the dams where they live and their dens is cleared out, safe. So that reminds us that it's time to look inward. that we need to start calming down a little bit, cleaning house, kind of getting ready for those long winter months, reflection. Think about protection, quieting your mind, meditating a little bit more, and making sure that you have all your stocks or your reserves for the upcoming months. So yeah, the harvest moon is when they brought in the last harvest of what corn, veggies they had left that were in their fields or growing in their gardens. Time to take them in, because if you let them stay any longer, they're going to rot. Time to preserve everything you can for that last bit before the winter starts getting really cold. Hey, Lucy. Lucy jumped into the chat. I'm sorry.
Lucy.
I was distracted. May's licking an empty bowl and spinning it around in circles like she just has not been fed.
Hexie does the same thing.
Yeah, she's looking at me like, "Are you gonna feed me more?" No, I'm not gonna feed you anymore. You already had dinner. We had a question from Desiree, and the question she has is, so I was asked a question by my kids, and that question was, do animals, mainly our pets, do they reincarnate, and can people reincarnate into animals and vice versa? So you want to take that question, ma'am?
I mean, I think everything. I mean, I believe in reincarnation. I have a book here somewhere that I read that was about reincarnation, and the stories that you're reading, and the proof that they had for the stories that these little kids had of who they were in the past was absolutely phenomenal. And if I could find the book and figure out the name, I would definitely let you guys know. It's a good book too, if that's something that you're interested in to read. But so I do believe in reincarnation. I think our pets, I don't see why they can't reincarnate and come back as another animal that you might have after your one passes away. So I believe that they can. What do you think, Buffy?
I think it is extremely possible for them to reincarnate and vice versa. Funny thing about reincarnation, from what I've been taught traditionally and by those who believe in reincarnation, including the Hindus, the Taoists, the Buddhists that believe in reincarnation as well. Pagans, some pagans believe in reincarnation, some don't. Just depends on what's inside your heart. And what I've been told is that yes, you can, and it is vice versa. So with that being said, the only clincher is that once you pass from this realm or this dimension and go on to either heaven or whatever you want to call it, the afterlife, the ether, whatever, is you can ask to reincarnate, or you can choose to reincarnate. When you do choose to reincarnate, here's the catch-22. You don't get to choose what you get reincarnated as. It may be a blade of grass, it may be a tree, it may be a bird, it may be a cat, it may be a dog. So you don't get that choice. You go as what is needed for teaching purposes. And then you can choose to reincarnate. I want to say I believe as many times as you want, but I also believe I'm conflicted with that too. I don't know. I want to say that there may be a limit at some point too. I mean, for you to reincarnate, it's like, oh, you can't just keep coming back. I do believe that sometimes you reincarnate again as a human being in the same, and this is something that I said this past weekend because I worked up at Tree of Life, and there were a couple clients that I had that reincarnation kind of hit with them, and I knew it wasn't their first go around. One of them was a client of mine that is a very lovely person, and I see them quite often for card readings. And I said, from the first time that I said, this is not your first time around. I said, I think you'll have one more turnaround after this one. And he went, oh, geez, are you kidding me? I said, nope, I think you're going to come back again. And I said, the reason you keep reincarnating and being put in the same position all the time is because you haven't learned. You haven't grown. You haven't learned from your mistakes. Hey, Charles. Charles jumped into the chat.
Hi.
There are some people that just don't learn. They have to understand that the reason that they're put in the same position each and every time is because they haven't learned. Once they learn what they need to avoid and what they need to do to grow as a spiritual person or as an energy being, then you won't keep getting stuck in the same position, And the person said to me, is there any chance that maybe next time, this last time I come back, I can come back as a rich person? I said, you don't know. I said, maybe that's what got you in this cycle in the first place. But I did reassure the person. I said, listen, you have made strides from your last life, and this one you are treating it with a little bit more respect for your life, for being given a gift of another chance, and you're honoring yourself being coming back as a human. And I said, kudos to you for understanding that. And I said, who knows what the next life will bring for you? I don't know. I can't tell you that you're going to come back as a rich person. I can't tell you that you're going to come back as a cat. So to answer Desiree's question, yes, it is vice versa. So you can tell the kids, sure can. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. It's an older movie. I want to say like in the 80s. It was called Chances Are. And it had Sybil Shepherd and Robert Downey Jr.
I may have. I may have forgotten.
It was a cute movie, but it was about reincarnation. And it was just, it was one of my favorite movies of the time. And I watched it repeatedly. I thought it was great. But yeah, if anybody's, got nothing better to do, just search that up and, and see what their take of reincarnation was.
Yeah. I you know what? I want to say that hopefully everyone gets it, so that if they want to reincarnate, or they are given the choice to reincarnate, or they're given the purpose to reincarnate again, to maybe teach somebody else something that they've learned from a past life. That's also possible. You come back as teachers, that you've learned your lessons, and you've come back to help someone else who is now in your shoes, or the shoes that you had filled at one point. I did say at one point, and I still stand by this today, that I think people who are just bad seeds, those people that just are evil people, murderers, rapists, serial killers, those who have absolutely no remorse. And we've all seen them, especially us ladies. Who doesn't like to watch ID, the ID channel before they go to bed, and watch a miniseries about a serial killer? I mean, I sat there and watched the whole Ed Gein series. Thank you very much, Carrie Hopper, for getting me addicted to it.
Is that the new one with Charlie Hunnam?
Yes.
I haven't watched it yet. Was it good?
Oh, it was good. It was sick. And here was Carrie made a post on Facebook, and I'm outing Carrie if she ever watches this, or if she's jumping in the chat later, because I see that she's on Facebook. But she made a post on Facebook saying, why do I feel sorry for Ed Gein all of a sudden? Please don't.
I mean, I could see where that comes from, because when you look at the whole story and like what he went through from when he was younger and everything, I mean, there really was no chance for him. I mean, it was like one bad thing after another, and
oh gosh, yeah.
I just think it just screwed his brain up, and and unfortunately, it led him to do the things that he did. But I mean, he was still very disturbed.
He was still a very disturbed person. But if you've read the books or kind of read into the mini series, how some people will read the cliff notes or the comments about the movie or whatnot. There is a certain character, and this is all I'm going to say, because I mean, a lot of people may have not seen the mini series, the Ed Gein story. There is one person in his life that I think, and I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get backlash for it, but made him that way. Absolutely. 100% made him the way that he was. And I don't doubt that he was developmentally delayed. Like, here he is, this grown, ass adult. And maybe through watching the miniseries, you kind of think that maybe he, there was some mental disabilities going on there, where he maybe only had the intellect of maybe a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old at some point.
Yeah, I don't think his brain was the age that it should have been.
Yeah.
Because I did do a lot of research on it, and I watched like different podcasts that they were talking about it, and went through like his whole life and like things that happened.
Yeah.
And because I was just kind of preparing myself a little bit, because I still have to get in to watch it. But absolutely, like I feel like after reading what I read and watching the podcast and things like that, like there was no chance for him. Like he just, it was sad. It was sad. And I can see where Carrie's saying that, because I definitely feel bad that, he wasn't given a fair chance, and, and he didn't know any better from what he was taught. So,
yeah. When you're put in that type of situation, and you're stuck in that situation for your entire life, I think that leads you to, just give up and just become that evil person that you become, because you have no other choice. It's like, you have no one to guide you and be a loving person, or teach you how to be a loving person. But I digress. With that being said, don't think that when you pass away, or that when you leave this plane of existence, that you're getting away scot-free, because that doesn't happen. There are debts to be paid, soul contracts to be completed, and contracts that you make with your higher self, like we talked about the last time we were on here with Akashic Records. And with that being said, I think as a form of repentance, or a form of punishment, and I really don't want to use the word repentance, because that seems to be surrounded by one specific religious practice, where you'll see in movies, repent now, and you'll see a priest or a nun going, repent now, okay. it is a form of repentance, or a form of like punishment, I guess I want to say punishment. That if you've shown no remorse, and I'm sure everyone has watched an ID mini series on a serial killer, like whether it be the Ridgeway Killer or you know, Helter Skelter when it came to Charles Manson, or I want to say what was his name, Ramirez. When they were in the court, there was no remorse. He was standing, they were all standing amongst family members of people that they had murdered, and they laughed. They thought it was hilarious. They had no remorse. They didn't say they were sorry. There was not even a tear that was shed for a lot of them. And I think when you move from, or you are, I love the way Leslie from Etheric Connections calls it. Kind of like when her husband Lloyd passed away. It was, and if you get to see this, Leslie, thank you ever so much. I still love you to death. Leslie Runkle and her husband Lloyd. Lloyd passed away, I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago. And she called it being birthed into spirit, or being birthed into the spirit realm. And it's like a birth into, from one plane to the next. When you are set amongst those beings, or those higher planes, those higher beings, or your higher self, I don't think you are given a choice.
Yeah.
You are then put into another cycle of reincarnation. But I think you are either reincarnated as a victim of the crimes that you committed, or a family member, like a mother or a father of someone who was cut short in the same way that you cut someone's life short. So you experience every single ounce of suffering and pain and just downright grief that you caused an entire family. And you're meant to suffer with that, so that you understand the result of your actions.
Yeah.
And I think it is fair, and I think it is just. That's just my opinion. I mean, some people are going to say after this, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're such a terrible person." You say that, that's something that you approve of. Yes, it is something that I approve of.
I mean, to be honest, I never thought of it like that before. Like, I just thought of reincarnation and, you can come back. But I mean, to hear it that way, I mean, I would wholeheartedly, like, where do you want me to sign? Because I mean, people should, especially if, I mean, we think of people like when you're doing things like that, I mean, automatically I'm thinking you're going to go to hell. If you don't and you're reincarnated, that should be your hell. I agree 100%. So they can be mad at me too if they don't agree. But I mean, that definitely, I mean, the only thing I could think would be better is for them to be able to, understand why they're being put through that.
Right. I can't say whether they are told why they are put through that. I think I don't know, because obviously, I don't remember my reincarnations for something, and you have to think of reasons. One of the people that I read for this past weekend kind of looked at me and said, "Well, why am I put in the same shitty life, or the same shitty circumstances? I don't deserve this." And you have to kind of look back at it and think maybe you do. That we all talk about karma, and how sometimes we don't think karma comes quick enough, or
Mhm.
karma never comes for certain people. You don't know that. Maybe they're living the karma
Mhm.
that they should have gotten in the past, in the life previous. And the
Yeah.
reason that their life is so shitty because maybe you were a shitty person
Mhm.
in your past life before this
Or,
one.
they could be living it over and over because they just haven't learned their lesson.
Right.
You
And
know.
yeah, I made that comment to someone who I respected, who I kind of like, and everybody thinks, oh, because you're a medium and you're a psychic, da da da, you should be able to avoid these situations. That's not how it works. It's
Mhm.
not how it works. We are all given free will. We are all, even gifted people. Each and every one of you that are out there that I have said has a gift, that you have a gift, are all given free will by whatever you hold higher than yourself, whether it be great creator, God, comes by many names. The collective, the source, the one. I don't care what you call it. You are given free will.
Mhm.
So you do things freely of your own actions. And this person I really don't speak to this person anymore because they insulted me in front of a very large group of people. And they had the nerve to call me a gypsy. What are you doing? Selling snake oil up there, just spreading your lies, being a snake oil salesman. And I talked to him and I said something to the effect of something about karma. And I said, first of all, I'm not a Rumney. That's number one. I am not a Rumney shell either. Although I have Irish blood and I have Scottish blood, I am not a Rumney shell. Never have been. That is a specific ethnic background that I have nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with me. Um, you know, and I said, maybe the reason you don't believe in karma is because you're living every bit of karma you deserve right now. And I walked away. I said, don't you ever call me a gypsy again. I said, because what I sell is therapy. I sell truth. And I try and help people emotionally through their traumatic states. I said, yeah, I'm a dark empath. Not dark in the way people think. There is no such thing to me. A dark empath does not mean a narcissist. Doesn't mean a gaslighter. It means someone who actually attaches themselves sees the dark of a person first. They see everything else, but they feel the trauma first before
Mhm.
anything else. And through what I do is basically maybe vibrational or spiritual healing. Is that I try to get you to work on that as a person and give you a little bit of life lessons and spiritual lesson from your spirit guides, from the family members that you have had that have passed, to kind of help you through situations. Because if you don't cry over something that you've lost, you're not a healed person. Everybody needs to cry, you know. Uh, so, and I walked away from him, and I don't speak to that person anymore. And he just avoids me like the plague, but that's okay. Charles says, I forget if it was in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, part of the Buddhist or Hindu beliefs, probably all three. But when you die, you're shown your life and your deeds, good and bad, are weighed. This is supposed to help determine what's going to happen to you. And that's very possible. Or, as far as like reincarnation, whether the good outweighs the bad deeds if you want to reincarnate. Um, because I believe all three of those do believe at some point in reincarnation. Um, so it's possible. Um, Book of the Dead, part of the Buddhist. I forget if it was the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It may be the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Charles. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't thumbed through that book in about 1.5 million years. That's a book that's collected dust in my library. Maybe I need to get it out tonight, Charles, and start reading it. But yeah, I just think that, karma may never come in this lifetime for you. It may come in the next life. Karma doesn't have a time limit. Karma doesn't have to necessarily come in this this dimension for you.
Mm-hmm.
It can come later. I mean, because you'd be skipping through this life, hopping and skipping through this life, like, karma ain't gonna get me, and then when you die, here comes karma. You think you're going to the pearly gates, right? And instead of St. Peter's, it's karma. And she's standing at that gate going, oh, you thought you were going to get away. You thought you were slick. No.
Mm-hmm.
See this laundry list of stuff I got? This is what you're going to deal with me today. You can't run and hide anymore. Charles says, it's heavy and complicated. It's a heavy and complicated read. It is. It is. I have one that was gifted to me by a librarian. The library actually closed, and she had a copy of it. And she said, oh, I know you would absolutely love this because you love all the weird, crazy-ish. Not that I didn't stalk the library every day when I was a young teenager. And just gravitate towards all the, go past the romance novels, go back past the mathematics, and go right into the religious section and just start, taking books out. And she asked me one time, are you going to be a theologian or something? Are you going to take some spiritual trek somewhere? You're gonna join the Hare Krishnas or something? Are you going to be a nun, or are you going to be a theology teacher? I'm like, no, I just like different religions. That's all. I like how they're neat and how sometimes they intersect with each other. Like, okay. This is back in the 80s. We had the librarian that looked like the woman from the Ghostbusters with the red hair. The one that, is it a free floating phantasm that doesn't have legs? We got one.
We got one.
Yeah. So I find it very interesting. I find you very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I would find it interesting if I came across it, was able to read those kinds of books.
You can. They have English versions. You know that, right? Translated.
Yeah, I haven't been to the library in forever.
You don't have to. You can Google them. You can get them on audiobooks.
I could.
Like this is my word for Google. Like, like I'm typing on a computer. You can Google. Google it. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. So that was an interesting conversation we had.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, all you wonderful witches from your sister Joanne. JoJo's in the chat. Need to teach her to jump through flaming hoops like Hemingway cats. Funny stuff. I think he was talking about Hexy. That was from Tim. We have to teach her to fly through flaming hoops, apparently.
But I'm just trying to teach her to calm down because I don't know if you see me. I keep going like this. I don't know what she's doing. She's playing with something, but my camera keeps like going. I'm waiting for her to knock it over.
I don't know. Mine left. She left. She was like, there ain't nothing in this bowl, and this beyond is not filling my bowl. So guess what? I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
Well, I tried to do all that before we started. So she got water. She had wet food downstairs. I filled her dry food up here. I was like, she's got her bases covered. But she's still being ornery.
Oh. Desiree said she had, oh my God, I had 3 people come into my store today dressed as Ghostbusters in Ghostbuster costumes. I want to go to the store that Desiree works at. I really do, because I hear it's like Walmart at midnight. You get like the strangest people that
Yeah,
just show up at Goodwill.
because it's not even Halloween, and they're coming in look dressed as Ghostbusters.
I didn't really dress up for Halloween. I just had my little Mickey ears on, and I came in my usual black clothes. And I had somebody at work look at me and go, "What are you supposed to be?" I said, "A witch like I am every day." I don't have to be a witch just for Halloween. I'm a witch every day, my dear. And I said, "Yeah, this is what I wear every day." Charles says the Tao Te Ching is a must read. So everybody mark that down or write that down. The Tao Tao Te Te Ching is a must read. Look, Jen's getting ready. She's reading it. She's writing it down.
I'm writing down.
I'm writing it down. Desiree said she ran into the parking lot to find the Ecto One. She didn't know where the Ecto One was. Oh God, terrible, Desiree, terrible. Oh my goodness. Oh, so what else do you want to talk about? We had a chat about reincarnation. We had a chat about karma,
fairies.
Oh. Tao Te Ching essential to both philosophical and religious. Okay, so the Tao Te Ching is a book about Taoism. So it's a book about religion, and this is most in Asia is the Taoism. And Tao Te Ching is central to both philosophical and religious Taoism and has been highly influential on Chinese philosophy and religious practice in general. Oh, look, and it's available on the Amazons.
On the Amazon.
It's on the Amazons. Hey, Rachel. Rachel just jumped into the chat. Oh my goodness.
Is it available on Kindle Unlimited?
Is it? You want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. One moment, please. Well, I got the Googles up. Okay. On Kindle Unlimited. Over 4 million books. That's great. I know you got 4 million books. Yes. And it's available in multiple versions, ma'am.
Oh, well, then I'm good to go because I pay for Kindle Unlimited, so I can just download that sucker.
Yep, and it's free for those who have Kindle Unlimited. I'm going to tell my mom she should read it. My mom will be like, yeah, right. Like, I fall asleep trying to read English stuff. You want me to read something Chinese? Rachel says she's getting 4 ginger baby floofs. Rachel, if anyone didn't know, Rachel helps out with the volunteer work of the Save the Stray Schuylkill, which is an organization that Sherry and I should say Mama Tree and Papa Tree are involved in at the Tree of Life shop. She's getting 4 ginger baby floofs. Now, this is Rachel likes to give them names. Like, she names them after planets, and I think there were Greek gods at one time, and so I don't know what you're gonna have a hard time, Rachel. You're gonna run out of names, honey. She's getting 4 more floofs. Charles says the Taoism really isn't a religion per se. more so a philosophy, which is true. I mean, to think
Makes
about
sense.
it. Yeah. So is Taoist. And I mean, some people can kind of think of Hinduism as more of a philosophy. Krishnaism, Krishnaism, is that a word? If not, I just made it up. Um, the Hare Krishna. Well, the people that used to see when we were little at the airport with the bald heads running around.
Yes.
With the orange robes on.
Yes.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, those people. Those are Krishnas. Don't forget Magic. Well, Magic, your cat, Magic the cat. Is that what you're referring to, Desiree? Rachel said she would never run out of names. Never. Okay, girl, you keep saying that. Next time I see you, you're gonna say, "I need a name for one of my ginger floofs."
Are they all male, or does she get some female?
I don't know. We have to ask her. Are they all male? Like I'm asking for you because she can't hear you. My recent ginger floof girl is named Enya, Irish for fire. Well, yeah, that is Irish for fire. I thought as soon as she said the word Enya, I was thinking like Enya the singer. Enya. Because I can get down with some Enya.
Jace's orange cat that he has is a female, and he named her Nessa LaRue.
Nessa LaRue. Wow.
Means feisty from the streets.
Oh, okay.
Because he found her in the streets when she was just a little kitten.
She was a hoodlet. She was a kid.
And he brought her home and he bottle fed her and he took care of her, and that cat is glued to him, but she is a little feisty. You could tell that, her mom was a street cat because she definitely has it in the DNA. But he loves that cat, man. She just rides around on his shoulder.
Let's see. We've got comments. Desiree says, I wasn't worried about the Ghostbusters, but I would have if I would have seen the Scooby van and the Impala.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down. Not unless you got pudding. Then you will find Dean. He needs pudding to be coming out of his rabbit holes. Yes, Charles said Taoism and Taoism are the same religion. It depends on the translation. You're right, it does. Poor Tim. Tim is like, as long as you got Dunkin' Donuts around, you'll have plenty of names. He's going to get another dog and he's going to name it Latte. Chai latte. Watch it happen. Rachel said spicy street cred girl. She's a spicy street cred girl. That is very true. So getting back to do you think we come full circle. Getting back to the top of our show when you said that in Scotland it was reported that they saw the white stag. Do you think the fairies are coming back?
That's a good question. I mean, is it a possibility? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they do exist, I mean, who's to say that they weren't here already and they just weren't showing themselves? And I've always, one of my things that I've always read and have talked about is, the doorways that you find in the middle of the woods. I was always told from, younger to, you know, older, that they were like the doorways to the Fey realm.
Right.
And, you know, that's why you're not supposed to walk through them, and, you know, and things like that. So, I mean, who's to say? I don't know. I mean, legends, folklore, things like that, there's got to be some kind of truth to it from at some point.
Yep.
You know, we just don't make up these stories, and, you know, and they're a little bit different depending on geographically where it's coming from, but they are pretty much the same. And, you know, they just, that is a hard one, you know, because it's not like, I would say, with like Bigfoot or, you know, werewolves or things like that. Like, there's people who say they've spotted them, they've seen them, there's sightings, and you don't really hear that much about Fae so much. And like every now and then you get somebody who talks about, you know, they seen a little fairy or something like that. But I mean, for the most part, there's not a lot out there stating like there was a sighting here or somebody has this story here or something. So I don't know. That's I'm on the fence about that one.
Speaking of, when we talk about fairies, I forgot to say this. There was a sighting, Mr. Hopper, a Bigfoot sighting in Pennsylvania recently.
Ooh, what part of Pennsylvania?
I want to say it was central Pennsylvania. Maybe it was right outside of Gettysburg. Hold on. I want to say it was recent. It was recent. A recent credible sighting in Center County on Interstate 80 last month, where a driver reported a tall, dark figure crossing the highway. Now, I-80, I may be incorrect. I don't know whether it's I-80 or I-81 that you have to go down to get to the Poconos. But that highway, can you imagine? You're going down, zipping down the highway trying to get to the Poconos, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a giant Bigfoot shows up crossing I-80.
We've taken those trips quite a few times up to the Poconos too.
I want to say 80. I'm not exactly sure.
I feel like it would be 80 because I think 80. I don't think it's 81.
Does I-80 go to the Poconos? Now, see, now you got me Googling everything. Does it certainly does. It goes right up into the Poconos Mountains. Actually, I-80, the Interstate I-80, you can catch it in the Poconos Mountains and take I-80 all the way into Nebraska.
Wow.
That's where I-80 ends, in Nebraska. Goes through Chicago, Ohio, Indiana. That's my new thing. Indiana, you are now known as Indiana. Iowa, and right into Nebraska. It runs east to west. No Google needed. Charles and I know. Well, you didn't have to have me Google all that. You should have just said, yup. Come on, Charles, where are you? Susan said, yup. So yes, there was a Bigfoot sighting. How about them apples, Mr. Hopper? With the Bigfoot sightings, as recent as October of this year.
Wow.
Yes. It does not state whether it was in the daylight or at night. So I want to assume that it was at night because I don't think there have been many sightings during the day. I could be wrong because I'm not a huge watch me as I rub my eyeball out of my eye. I'm not a huge Bigfoot follower. So I would have said that it would have happened at night. Taking that way when we go to Nebraska. Joanne's like, yep, we're taking that way when we go to Nebraska. Stopping a few places along the way. Is your sister going to Nebraska? Your sister ain't. JoJo?
It's the first I've heard of it. I was just thinking, what is she going to Nebraska for?
Look at your sister's face. Poor Jen is like, we're sisters, and as far as I know, what does this talk about you going to Nebraska? JoJo's going Bigfoot hunting. Anybody want to go on a Bigfoot hunt? We can all go together. Road trip.
Okay.
We're going from the Poconos Mountains straight through Indianapolis.
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 We got in an R now.
And then going into Iowa is when we go to visit Jesse. Oh, when we go to visit Jesse, Brian's brother.
Gotcha.
I
forgot
they live in Nebraska. They live in Nebraska, you dummy.
Cool.
So you can go right through. Listen, I need you to go through Indiana. Indiana.
We need a picture of the Indiana sign.
That's what she's going to do. She is definitely going to show. That's exactly what your sister will do. Brian, hold on. We have to get on the side of the road. I have to take a picture of the Indiana sign.
But she
and then write it in big letters.
And write an R on it and stick it up on the sign and then
Indiana.
That's awesome.
We're talking about Northern Appalachian mountain. Rachel's like, now everybody's misspelling shit. It's mountained. The Appalachian Mountains. Yes, sir. I see you there. We were talking about the Bigfoots being seen in near the Poconos. Wow, not that far away from us. Mm-hmm. What, 2.5, 3 hours away?
I don't even know if it's. I mean, depending on what part you go to, because we used to go to Camel Beach. It was like a water park up there in the Poconos that they did for the summer, and then the winter they do the skiing and snowboarding and stuff. And I think that was about 2 hours from us when we went up there, 2.5. So, but I'm sitting there thinking, like, all the times we used to go there in the summer, and like we'd get there like as soon as the park would open. We'd stay all day, and then we'd come out at the end when the park closed. We'd grab dinner, and then we'd head home. And we're headed home like between midnight and like 1 o'clock in the morning. We never seen nothing.
Oh my God, you made me snort. Poor Charles. Charles wrote, he said, about 15 to 20 years ago, there was a supposed sighting of a Bigfoot near Likens, Pennsylvania. But in all honesty, I think the guy was stoned after watching the news broadcast. Was he slurring his words? Was he eating a lot? Sitting there, yeah, man. We saw the Bigfoot, man. Did he try and steal their Oreos? He tried and stole their Oreos. I can't move my
You guys get down this way, we'll go Skunk Ape.
Only if I get to wear a respirator. I don't want to be nervous.
Why would you want to wear a respirator? You got Florida water up there you use in your cubicle. Why in the hell do you want to wear a wet respirator?
Before the show, let's preface this by saying, right, Jen? I was talking about not swamp water, but Florida water. You know, the voodoo Florida water that you get.
Where do you think Florida water comes from?
It certainly doesn't come from a swamp.
What do you think we get our drinking water from?
But okay. I'm not going to win this fight. I'm not going to win this fight tonight. I guarantee.
No,
I'm not
you're not.
gonna-
Not that one.
But they purified it. It's not like I went to a swamp and said, "Here, I'm going to just fill it up on the side of the
Yeah,
road."
they
There I
purify
am.
this damn water. They purify it with chlorine and salt.
And salt. Yes, it was a rundown trailer camper in the middle of the woods. Apparently, this place in Likens, Pennsylvania, I guess where the guy was, who reported the sighting of the Bigfoots. It was a rundown trailer camper-ish looking thing in the middle of the woods.
Oh, you're probably on mushrooms or something.
But he was probably that's
Mhm.
true. Was he on the shrooms?
Some of them
had he
mushrooms
gone
you
out
better leave
foraging?
alone.
He got out foraging, eating stuff that he shouldn't have.
Acid.
Charles?
He was on something.
He was on something anyways. If it was back 15, 20 years ago, where the hell was Bobo? Bobo should have been out there, hitting the side of the tree. What was it? His apples and sausage?
Yeah, these bratwursts.
You
You got to put those bratwursts up in order for Bobo and Monkey. You got Monkey and Bobo out here. We fry those damn sausages up. We get all kinds of hits and vocalizations from Sasquatch and Skunk Ape down in this area.
That's it.
Yeah, but you got to have the bratwurst. That's the only thing Skunk Ape and Sasquatch knows is the bratwurst. You got to have those.
Is the bratwurst?
Yeah.
He has a more sophisticated palate.
Yeah. You got it.
Jen's
That's
just
the only
sitting
way
back.
you're going to bring them out.
Jen's just sitting back. Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm coming down there, and I officially want to go Skunk Ape watching with you. We're gonna have to pick a night. We're just gonna go out there in the middle.
3 minutes away? Yeah, I'm only 3 minutes away from the Sawgrass Everglades. So we take the airboat out. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Yeah. You ready, Jen?
Let's airboats. Jen's in now. You said airboats.
We're good.
She's in now.
We're good.
She said, "Woohoo, airboats."
Airboat. Let me get my binoculars. We're good.
1,000 square miles down here. Nothing but Florida swamp water.
Listen, I will go down. I will be in the airboat, but I do not relish being gator food or
We don't worry about gators no more. It's these damn pythons we worry about now.
Well, I can handle a python, man. I'm like a snake charmer. What was it? Rachel says that explains everything. Swamp water. Desiree says they purify it through stills as well, not just salt and chlorine. Yeah, they do. But that's for the Appalachians, the Appalachian Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains.
Appalachian.
I can't talk tonight. I swear. Indiananer.
Hey, you know where our good friend Rocco and his family moved to? Nebraska.
They are in Nebraska.
They're in Nebraska now.
They are in Nebraska now. I've lost touch with them. I don't see them on Facebook anymore. Really.
They're very, very seldom on Facebook anymore. He's laying low now since all of that stuff came out, with the Mothman.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I was going to say we can get him for a repeat show. I mean, I think Jen would pick his brain as far as. So if you guys were not with us at one point when we started doing the Paranormal Talk 2, which was when I first started, 6 years ago, Tim?
Yeah, 6 years ago.
About 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Tim has a friend of his named Rocco. And Rocco was a Marine, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, he was a Marine. And he was stationed.
I don't hold that against him, though.
What?
I don't hold that against him.
Oh, no. Oh, stop.
A little bit of
rivalry against the Coast Guard and the Marines. He was in the Marines and he was stationed at Point Pleasant, which is where the Mothman sightings happened when the bridge went down years ago. I think it was 65. Did we say?
Yeah, somewhere around that, I think.
1965. Well,
65,
66, 65.
Not Pleasant, somewhere in there.
Rocco witnessed the Mothman, and he had a gag order put on him by the U.S. government. And when the gag order ended, he chose none other than Paranormal Talk 2 to break his silence about the Mothman. That was a great show. That was so good. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, if he ever watches this, maybe he'll want to come back at one point or another. It's been 6 years since we've had him on the show. But, and it's a shame. I don't think they can go back and watch those, can they? Or listen. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so now. Yeah, I think we lost all the archives and everything in that library.
Yeah. But it was a great show. So there were a lot of military people that actually witnessed things like skunk apes, Bigfoot, Mothman, and they either didn't say anything because they were afraid that it's the U.S. government. What are you going to do? You're going to tell them that you saw an 8-foot giant ape in the middle of nowhere? Hold on for a second. Where is she? You okay, Maven? Hold on. One moment, please. Where'd she go? Oh, she's out. She's out in the hallway. I thought I heard her hacking.
What's she packing? 9?
I don't.
45?
Nothing. She's fine. She's underneath. You know what she's at? She's underneath my dresser over here. Her place to hide. Her favorite place to just hang out and chill. But what are you going to do? I mean, are you going to say something? You can't say something, because if you do, you're considered a kook, you know? And then you have to go through all the investigations, and then they have to cordon you off. And then if they find out that there's evidence, then they have to put a gag order on you, and then you can't talk about it for years and years and years. So I totally understand where Rocco was coming from with, he couldn't wait to get it out. And then finally, when the gag order, was it the day after, Tim? I think
it was the day after the gag order was lifted that he confided in me. And he, of course, we're both, we worked together. Yeah. And I knew there was a story there, but, with him being under that gag order, he wasn't able, to speak about it. And, I couldn't ask questions either.
Right.
Because, both with the government, you can't disclose, those details, because there's repercussions. And, and they're not good. So, but
no.
Yeah, once that minute passed the deadline, he
was like, blah, I have to get it out.
Yeah, look out.
I'm sure he felt good after getting it out. I mean, to be able to hold something in for so long and know that you're not nuts. Yeah. Know that you're not nuts. So I don't know. Carrie has someone in her chat all the time with the Well, That Was Weird podcast that she does with Aaron, who absolutely loves Mothman. This guy is like just a Mothman freak. Let's just put it that way. He loves everything Mothman.
Okay.
And that's Joseph Frezza. And I love him in the chat all the time when I watch them on Thursdays. And so with that being said, I'm on the hunt to try and find him Mothman tarot cards. So if anybody sees Mothman tarot cards, let me know. You know where to find me, so I can, box them up and give them to him. You hearing things too? Are you hearing things, Desiree? I haven't heard much of anything. I will tell you, anybody, Jen, have you been affected by the Schumann resonance lately? Or you, Tim?
No.
That's going on. Jen?
No, I know some people have, though.
I've just had some ringing in my ears.
This Schumann resonance, I swear, it needs to stop, because the only way I can describe it, it's always in my right ear. Always in my right ear.
It's very, very loud.
Yes. But it sounds like, when someone plays a bass guitar and it's a really low note, but it's like right in your ear, that. And then it makes the inside of my ear shake. And then it'll go really high and then go really low and then disappear. It lasts for, I don't know. The max I think it ever lasted was like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it doesn't last long, but it definitely, like, I've had ringing in my ears before, and it's always been like very, very like light, but just, I think it was like 2-3 days ago, it hit out of nowhere, and it was so loud, like I literally stopped and kind of like jerked my head to the side, and it literally was like 5-6 seconds, and then it just stopped.
Well, I've been having this ish go on for the past months, and it's driving me nuts. So, I mean, real quick before, we go off, and oh, look, he was there and then he's not. Cap disappeared again. Where is that masked man? Oh, look, there he is. Where is
you see how quick I can switch?
Yes.
I can move from dimension to dimension,
Listen.
That's how Bigfoot
moves. He's a shapeshifter. He's like the Bigfoots. Big feet.
That's how he moves.
Bigfoot. Yeah. Time travel.
They can't catch him.
Yeah.
You can teleport from one dimension to the next. Right, Jen? Jen knows.
That's what they say.
Absolutely.
That's what they say. Well, that's what was her name? Susan from the Sandia Mountains. When we were talking about the Ponte, do you remember the shows that we talked about the Ponte?
Yeah.
The extraterrestrials, the ETs. She also has been in contact with the Bigfoot out that way in New Mexico. And I don't know whether it was her or someone she knows that tried to prove that they had a Bigfoot in her yard and she had seen it. So what she did was she left one of those, remember that way back when you went to weddings and every table you sat at had one of those Kodak cameras where you would take pictures and then someone would from the table would take it and go get it developed, like the candid shot.
And you never seen it again.
Absolutely, those. Or they had the ones that were encased in plastic, and they said, "Oh, you can take them underwater," and then you took them into the shop and never got the film because they were like, "Yeah, that disintegrated, so we couldn't develop any of it." She left one outside on her back deck, and she's left a slice of pizza thinking that, I'll just use bait. I use a slice of pizza. Who knew that they are not only aficionados of the knockwurst, but they do like pizza as well. So it took the slice of pizza and it took the camera. Now, this was summertime in New Mexico, right? And we know that New Mexico, their geographical location, they don't really have like a winter or an autumn. They don't have trees like that. It's more like palm trees and cactus because you're out in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
You're out in the high desert where she lives. And she woke up the next morning, the camera was gone, the slice of pizza was gone. So she said, she said, either this is going to go really good or go really pear-shaped, like somebody was just playing a joke on me and they stole the slice of pizza and they stole the camera. This lasted for a couple of days where she would go back every day. I think it was like 4 days. She went back every day to see if the camera was back. And one day she woke up, went outside for her coffee, morning coffee in the dead of summer, and the camera was back. It was on the table. And like only the crust of the pizza was left, like the end crust. And yeah, they don't like end crust. They don't like crust in their pizza, apparently. I don't know.
He brought it back.
He brought that pizza back. He was like, it was good, but the crust was, no, I'm not a crust eater.
He didn't have no ranch to dip it in.
Distinguishing taste. And the camera had been used. She went and she took it to get developed. And there were pictures of autumn leaves. Like someone had taken it and gone to another state, another dimension, somewhere else, or had gone time traveled and gone somewhere else where there was an actual fall. It looked like Vermont, like fall in Vermont, where you saw changing leaves and trees, a lot of animals that were, getting ready for the winter. Then it switched to snow, like snow-capped mountains. There was snow on the ground. Trees were bare, almost like if you were to go to a park and see, how the trees get lined with snow.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, I live in New Mexico. Where the hell am I going to find snow in the desert? She said, it snows in the mountains. It doesn't snow here. And we don't get leaves and grass like you would in Vermont. So I'm suspecting that if that story is true, then yeah, he's a time traveler.
He had to have that pizza for a snack, right?
So, well, yeah, apparently time traveling makes you hungry.
He's like me. He's not going to eat that damn crust if it's got, the cheese in the middle of it. So, I mean, I'm going to bring it back too, drop it off where I got it at. I'm not going to eat that nasty crap.
Listen, he doesn't like stuffed crust pizza.
Yeah, I don't want none of that. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, taking the scenic tour. Yeah, he's like everybody else. He wants to see the leaves.
I was hearing again. So yeah. So if that story is true, then that would lead me to believe that he's a time traveler.
Oh, I believe that. I absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe you.
And yeah. And she said the fingers, a couple of the pictures came back. You know how someone sometimes will get their finger in the way of the lens, or they'll get their thumb, a picture of their thumb in the way. There were pictures like that where there were fingers or thumbs that were in the way, and they looked kind of human, but big enough to be on an ape.
Yeah, like Chewbacca.
Right. They were gigantic. They were gigantic. And she said, so you can't sit there and tell me that there is no such thing as Bigfoot. I want to say that, and I'm sticking to my guns, he may be a time traveler. But I want to say that he could be like a missing link, maybe. Like he was the one that didn't, I guess, evolve, maybe. I've been hearing tones in my ears from low to high pitches. Rachel has been hearing the high pitches again to low pitches from the Schumann resonance. Mark my words. Getting back to the Schumann thing, since we were going bouncing things back and forth. I don't know how many people. I did make a comment on Facebook, and Tim, you saw that comment on Facebook that I mentioned about y'all didn't pay attention to me 3 years ago about things going off. And now look where we are at this point. Maybe you'll pay attention to me now. That Schumann resonance to me, and from what I've been told by certain beings, if you had gone to the Tree of Life shop when I did my channeling, you would know who those beings are. Kita and Abe. Something bad is about to pop off. You think it's bad now, you wait. The Schumann resonance is like a warning sign from the earth that things are about to happen. To me, that's what it means to me. You can choose not to believe it at this point. I don't care. I've stopped caring when it comes to, telling people stuff and then they don't pay attention. Mark my words. Something's about to pop off, and it's none too good. You think the ish is bad now? Wait, because it's coming. This is the what do I want to say? The what is it? This is not the headliner that's happening right now. This is the opening act. That's what I want to say. The opening act. You wait. Things are going to get worse, and we're in for it. And I think I want to say that with you saying the white stag, or people saying that they saw the white stag, this is the beginning of the signs. Tim can tell you that in the plains, Native Americans believe that when a white buffalo is born, that is a sign of things to come. That the earth is changing. That certain natural some natural elements are getting tired of not being balanced anymore. The spirit realm is coming. You think that this ain't fun? We're going to be in a spiritual war coming, and it'll be none too happy about what's happening or what's going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting more and more every day that I'm hearing this, and it's getting louder and louder, and it's the point where the past 2 days I've had to walk away from my desk at work and go outside and yell at myself internally and be like, will you just stop, because you're getting annoying, and it's getting bad. So that's my little soapbox. Not hearing ringing, but my right inner ear has been itching like crazy, like someone is tickling my ear with a feather. I haven't heard anybody say it's like that, but I guess each person is different. I don't know, Jen. Have you felt things different? Like you, come on. You're one of the most gifted people I know as far as like the empathic part of things. You can't tell me you haven't been feeling something.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel it. Like my sleep patterns have been off, and it's definitely very like I was gonna say like thick.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I can explain it, and and I think like the more it's changing outside, like with the way things are,
mm-hmm.
the more happens in here.
Mm-hmm.
And, like stuff just like is very, how do I want to put it? And it's just a little off. Like things are just not settled in here like they used to be. So
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of things moving and thumping, and my poor cat's having a time with whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's another thing I want to point out. People with cats, Dogs too. Any pets like cats, dogs, birds, you'll see. Even Tim used to say when we talked about paranormal talk too, that the Native Americans have learned a lot have taught a lot of their children or their next generation to watch the birds. If the birds remain silent or they get very silent, they start flying in huge flocks for no reason, like the birds that'll stay, you know, and you see them leaving for a reason, or you see them panicked, you see crows panicked, ravens panicked, and you hear them or see them in large crowds and they start calling away. That's an indication that something is popping off. Pay attention. Those of you who have cats especially, not just dogs, but cats especially. There is a reason that the Egyptians absolutely venerated cats. And that is because cats were the only animal that could slip in between realms, from the realm of the dead to the realm of the living and back and forth. They were the messengers. They were the guardians. And that's why a lot of ancient Egyptians, if the pharaohs died or those that were rich died and their cats were still around, their cats got, and buried with the rich people along with their servants or whatever, what have you. Notice your cats acting goofy, or like something like they shouldn't be acting, or like nervous. Calm cats will become nervous. They become twitchy, or they start staring at nothing all of a sudden. That's the sign to pay attention. To definitely pay attention. Rachel said something. She said that the East has not had a major earthquake in a very long time. I wouldn't be surprised if we get one soon. We've had rumbles more frequently lately, and I want to assume that's up north, like in central Pennsylvania or in the Shenandoah. Sometimes they'll experience more of it because they're in the mountain areas. And what else? I can't find my chat. My chat has disappeared. And Tim made a comment that we live on a nasty fault line. We do. Delaware is on a fault line. So Delaware could be just like California, one good earthquake and bam, we're an island, honey. It's California one day, I swear, is going to become an island at some point with as many earthquakes as they have.
I'm waiting for that to just break off.
Yeah, Florida, you wait. You guys are one good old hurricane or a tsunami away from breaking off too. You guys sit on this. They're doing that now. So I don't know whether Tim was referring to his animals. Doing that now. Yes,
I was referring to the birds. I've been noticing the birds lately.
Yeah. No worries, Rachel. Cats were protectors of the underworld. They were protectors of the underworld. They were the guardians of the underworld. So y'all pay attention to me. Look, I'm being here. Don't make me have to get my tarot card out and slap it across the screen. Yes, I'm talking to you. Yeah,
you guys sit on a nasty fault line up there. Pennsylvania, Ohio, all through there, Delaware, all through there. And we've had earthquakes here as well. I mean, look at Haiti and all up and down through here. What, 10, 15 years ago when we had that nasty earthquake that took out Haiti and all that area down south in the Caribbean. But no, recently I've been noticing the birds lately. They've been acting weird. Kind of cattywampus, so to speak, as we call it. So
yeah,
Yeah.
By the way, that's a native word, cattywampus.
Cattywampus. Yeah.
Is a
Yeah.
native.
You're liable to hear anything native coming out of me. If you want to have that definition, just ask me, and I'll be glad to explain.
There you go. And well, you were the one who taught me about how the Native Americans taught their younger generation about watching the birds.
Absolutely.
And it being significant to them as far as how things were changing or how the environment was changing.
Yeah, absolutely. And and that's, it's sad though in a way, because the generations now, a lot of them, they don't want to learn the old ways. But I grew up in the old ways, from my grandmother, and I was lucky enough to be a part of that world with my uncles and everything. So I tried to pass that down to my kids, but it's hard to get those younger generations to understand the language and our teachings, because they're so tied up with this new modern stuff now with their internets and their games and all of this and all of, they don't have time for anything other than that. I can honestly say though that Anisha has shown a little bit of interest in a lot of things lately. Even she's not here, but she's starting to ask a lot of questions about certain things, and that's a real good thing. But as for the birds, the animals, if we stop long enough and pay attention to them, they talk to us. They tell us things that we need to really pay attention to. And Mother Earth is the same way. If we just stop long enough to listen and to pay attention of the sickness that's going around with Mother Earth. And these are the things that we need to really open our eyes up and pay attention and understand of what is going to happen, and and that way gives us an opportunity to be prepared for it. As for if we just tune it all out, we're not going to be prepared for the coming. And things can heal just like everything else.
Yeah.
If we catch it and we pay attention, right? So we don't want
its way of washing,
right? But we do want to make everybody aware that we're only here for a short time. After we're gone, then who knows who carries on, right? So these are the things that we really have to instill in generations of this generation and generations to come. So.
I mean, how do you think how do kids think that their parents, their grandparents, their great grandparents survived? I mean, and it's kind of sad because the only time that they're going to want to learn about their roots or where they come from or the languages that they spoke is when they're gone.
Exactly.
A day late and a buck short. So they need to sit still. When their grandparents want to teach them something, y'all need to sit still and listen. What did your sis used to say to me when we used to have conversations about the crows, and how she said the crow was my spirit totem, which is very rare for a white chick like me to have a spirit totem, but it's telling me to stop and listen, be still and listen.
Absolutely.
And how do you think that the Native Americans survived before colonization, before the white man came up? paying attention to the changing of the seasons and the animals. Why do you think that they migrated with the animals? You know, when the buffalo left and the deer left and the antelopes left and you know, where the deer and the antelope left, they went with them.
Absolutely.
They would follow them. They were migratory.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to stay in some place where they're not going to eat. They're going to starve all winter. So they migrated. But
exactly. Exactly. And you know, the thing about it is we all have the ability to read signs. We all have the ability to understand things that are coming and things that is fixing to take place if we pay attention, right? Now, the fact of the matter is, when I don't like to get onto the subject of when the Europeans came over and all this stuff, because I'm mixed blood myself, right?
We're all mixed at some point.
But the point of the matter is, we learn from one another, but we have to come to a point to where we have to learn from a culture and say, hey, look, this worked for thousands of years with these natives. This worked for thousands of years with these Europeans. Let's combine these together instead of trying to destroy one another and conquer this bloodline and supersede with this bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Let's come together and join together and learn from one another. But I mean, I don't want to get on that subject because I mean, this is not my show. But everyone out there that's familiar with PT2, familiar with Paranormal Talk 2, familiar with me, you know where I come from. It's a conversation that we've had so many times, and we all learn from one another. And I have so much to put out there for everyone because of who I am, where I come from. Not only of this world. I know more about the Native American world because that's the world I grew up in. I don't know anything other than my native world because that's the world, like I said, I grew up in. I don't know anything about my Irish world, where I come from. I don't know anything about that. My parents died at an early age. You know, but my grandmother and grandfather, they pushed me, and we all know where my grandfather comes from. We all know his background, right? So, you know, there's so much that we could talk about, and everybody knows me. They know about my teachings, and you know I would never put things out there that would misguide you. I don't misrepresent. I don't misrepresent my people. I'm very strong with my roots. I would never bring shame to my people. That's one thing I would never do. I will always be honest. And if I don't know something, I will definitely tell you. And there's no gray area with me. And everybody knows with me about the black wolf and the white wolf.
I do it all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, so maybe another show.
I would love to have you on one of our shows and just have a chat again. And sometimes I miss those chats we have, conversations we have. But oh God, you know who's trying to come through, right? For you, Mr. Popcorn.
Oh, really?
Said, don't you forget about them people from North Carolina, up in the Appalachian Mountains, because we followed just like Native Americans did. We knew when things were changing and getting ready to pop off, because we would pay attention to the changes of the season and the moss growing on the side of a tree and and this and that and the other thing, and how much rain we were going to get. And when he is just going off. Good
well,
Lord.
see, I never forget about my people from North Carolina. I never forget about my people from Georgia or any of those areas. That's where
Maggie Valley. People from Maggie Valley. Sure. Now he's talking about someone's bunion hurting. The neighbor down the street or something down in the holler used to have the lumbago. We knew when rain was coming, was going to get bad, because her back.
Oh my God! Yeah, we had this. He couldn't stand the lady. I don't know if anybody remembers them. Oh, I'm sure you do. You remember the show? You remember the show Bewitched?
Yes.
You remember the show Bewitched, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you had the one lady that always comes across the damn street peeking through the window, and she would see somebody turned into a freaking donkey or a damn duck running across the floor. Well, we had that one individual listen, where I came from, it was moonshine, right?
Yep.
And we grew up in the Popcorn Sutton area, right? Popcorn Sutton was part of our family. He was part of our heritage.
Yes.
For people who don't know that. But we called this damn woman Gladys Kravitz because she reminded us of Gladys Kravitz. And I was maybe 7 or 8 years old at the time, and she was the nosiest freaking damn woman in the whole valley. And do you remember the 2-3 party lines on the telephones?
Yep, yep.
You'd pick up a phone, and she would always be on that freaking phone. And she would be talking to somebody, and you would pick up a phone, and you'd hear the conversation between her and maybe 2 other people.
Yep.
And, and I would sit there and I'd hold the freaking phone. Do you remember those telephone calls, Jen? You'd hold the phone and you'd hear those conversations, because they would have a 2 or 3 party line.
Remember the party lines, Jen? Party line.
I would sit there and I would listen, and and you would hear somebody's listening, and I wouldn't say anything, and you'd hear Popcorn. He'd go to snickering and laughing, and he'd say, "Oh, this is just as high as a damn buzzard fly," or something like that. Everybody knew who it was, right? Everybody knew who it was. And then I would go to snicker, and I'd have to hang the freaking phone up. Okay, so I hung the phone up, and they would call back. They talked to my grandmother. Listen, you got, we heard. They always call me Mikey. They'd hear a Mikey on the other end or something. I get my butt tore up because I wasn't allowed. I had to show manners, right? So I get my butt spanked for listening to the conversations and shit. But he's the one who always started it. He started all that mess. Okay.
He said, "But you weren't saying nothing neither." But you
I wasn't saying anything because. But the party line went all through the freaking. The
holler, the entire holler. He's saying the entire
holler. Whoever was on the freaking party line, it didn't matter. It could have been. Hell, I don't know. It could have been a preacher. It could have been whoever. They could have been 3 or 4 families on that one telephone line.
Right. Was her name Ethel? Was her name Ethel? Because he keeps referring to Ethel.
Ethel was an aunt of ours.
Oh God. Because he's saying, because them 3 ladies get to chattering like a bunch of magpies in a damn tree, and just keep on to John. He said, and that Ethel, he said her mouth was so big the whole holler could hear what she was saying. You didn't have to get on a damn party line.
It was there was
away from her house and hear her hollering.
It was old Gladys Kravitz.
He said, "But you weren't saying nothing either, so you were an accomplice, sir. You were."
They were what they called. They was another one named Burley. Gladys Kravitz. Can't remember her name because we gave her that nickname, Gladys Crab.
He said Burley always had the good rumors. She was the one who started all them goddamn rumors out there. And
they had all kinds of crazy stuff going on. You know, what the hell they put in their pies, or you know, some kind of medicine brewing or something. You're talking about witches brew, Old Mountain brews and stuff.
Yes,
yeah, they had it cooking. Yeah,
he's
kind of
snickering
reminds me of
saying,
the two old ladies on the Waltons.
"Oh God," he's snickering saying that you know he was a smart one because he said the only thing that was dumb about you was you got caught.
Well, that was it. Yeah, I mean, you know,
You got caught.
I don't get caught anymore.
I never did get caught. And he said, I don't think that nobody's ever did care about me listening on them conversations because they thought I was just a drunk ass crazy old kid.
I'm gonna tell you something about him. He wasn't as dumb and drunk as you thought.
No, he was not. No, he was not. No, he was not at all. I think everybody thought that he was just a stupid drunk and that he was running liquor. That's all he ever did.
No, that's not all he ever did. Man. He was an entrepreneur of that county. He make money. If they was about it, he made make money. I mean, you know, that's just the era that you know that we lived in, and you know, him, my grandfather, and the Evans and the Suttons, everybody, you know, at that time, you know, you made, you know, you made money. I mean, you know, you had to, you know.
He said, shit, we didn't have nothing else that we could live off of. He said, so guess what? We took our chances.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, well, as poor as we were, we never went hungry, though.
I never considered ourselves poor. We always had plenty to eat, had a roof over our head, had an old jalopy to drive, had clothes, shoes on our feet, you know. Hell, we even attended a damn one-room school. On Jonathan's crew.
Yes, but he's the one. He just keeps chattering every time we talk about North Carolina or the Appalachian Mountains or the weather or this or something happening naturally. Here he comes. Want to make a lot of talk and if I don't cut him, if I don't cut him off, guess who else is going to show up? Evie going to show up. And John Redbone's going to show up, and then everybody's going to want to talk.
Everybody in the whole family shows up. It's like a family reunion.
Yeah, we don't got time to talk. No.
It's like a family reunion, right?
It is like a damn family reunion with you. I think I know more about your family than you do at this point.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
you know. Yeah, I can't keep no damn secrets.
This is how this works. I mean, some word will spark off a conversation, and here we go. And then poor Jen's just sitting there. She might as well get herself some popcorn. She's like, I'm just sitting here back here listening like this is a soap opera going on.
You know, that's how you got his name, right?
Huh? Yeah.
You know, that's
because he used to move around like, oh God. Does this have something to do with like gunshots and jumping around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's showing me getting shot at and him jumping around like popcorn in a pot.
How many times he got his ass with a bunch of rock salt?
Yes.
Popping him up and down like a. You remember how we used to pop popcorn?
Mm-hmm.
How we used to put a little bit of oil in a pot.
Yeah.
Put the popcorn kernels in there and put a damn plate over top of it and shake the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how we used to pop popcorn.
Yeah.
We used to pop popcorn up there where he had his old stills and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You go to hauling that freaking liquor and you get shot with a bunch of damn rock salt and stuff. Eating that damn popcorn. That's how you got it, man.
He's jumping up and down like a kernel of corn being popped out of a container.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, those are good times, but you know, I wouldn't trade them for nothing.
No.
But you know, that's the thing. I mean, you know, but those things, you know, yeah, we really have to pay attention to what's around us and listen to what Mother Earth, you know, is telling us.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Jen, I can see you as one of them back holler witches. You got that type of spirit. You got that type of aura, that energy.
Yeah.
You realize it, but that's where she come from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
My Aunt Fanny.
I think you are going to be a little mini me when it comes to Aunt Fanny.
Yeah, she used to do stuff like that. I'll tell you what, like if I could find pictures of her cabin, I mean her cabin that she lived in just screamed mountain witch. And I mean, outhouse, there was no electricity. And every time we stopped in there, she was always boiling something on the stove. And that last time I remember being up there, she came out and she was pouring that stuff around her property line. And I asked her, I was like, what are you doing? Because I thought she was making something to eat. And she was like, nope. She's like, this is to keep the evil away. And she goes, the bad people.
Yeah.
And I just kind of looked at her, and that's when she looked at me and she pointed up the mountain, and she's like, you stay away from anybody that's past this cabin. And she goes, this will help. And she goes, they won't cross this line. She goes, but you don't go up that way. And I was like, okay.
Oh God, yeah.
So
trying to keep the Haints away. Trying to keep the Haints away and trying to keep the feral people away.
That's exactly what they're called.
Huh?
That's exactly what they were called. That's what they called up there. The Haints.
Keep them Haints away from you.
Yeah.
Because did she have a blue front porch or a blue front door?
No, it was very rustic wood cabin. She didn't have any of that, but she did have a lot of herbs and stuff like that was hanging dried inside and stuff that she did stuff with. But like I said, I was very little when we went to visit her. And I want to say the last time I seen her before she passed was probably, I probably couldn't have been any more than 8 or 9.
Okay.
It was a while ago, but
time.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to, as I got older, for her, if she was still around, to be able to really pick her brain as to what she was doing and stuff like that, because I think pretty much after she passed that it pretty much died with her. Because
do you still own that cabin? Does the family still own the cabin?
Yeah, we still own the land up there and what's left of it. It's a shame because every time we go up there, Bruce really wants to go up and see everything. And it used to have a bridge that went over this creek, and the bridge is collapsed, and so we would have to really walk down through the creek, and everything's really overgrown and stuff like that. But if we could get back there, just to kind of see it. But it was a very small cabin. I want to say I remember going. You had the front porch. You went in the front door. It was a very small sitting room. To the left was the kitchen. And then to the right was her, in towards the back a little bit was the bedroom for her. And then, like I said, the outhouse, you had to go outside to use the outhouse. And I hated that. I thought something was going to get me.
Well, if you had to go bad enough, that's it. You were going to go whether you liked it or not. I am shocked if she did not have something on that porch painted what they called Haint blue. There is a specific shade of blue that they would either paint the roof of their porch, the inside, where you come in the front door, above there, or a door or something on that property, Haint blue. They called it Haint blue was because the witches or the Haints, the evil spirits, the evil witches didn't like that shade of blue. It referred to it looked like the sky. So they would think that there was nothing there. It was to protect the house. And your Aunt Fanny is saying, check under the house. Under the house, under the porch. Does she still have a front porch? Is it still standing? The front porch?
I don't know. Like I said, it's been years since we've actually been able to get back there and see. Maybe one of these, trips in the future, I'll see if we can't get up there and get over there. But
she's referring to having something buried underneath the front porch.
I bet she does. I have a feeling it. I've always thought that there is something buried.
You're gonna find it, and I think it's a book. I think it's a diary that she buried underneath the porch. She keeps referring to underneath the porch, close to the steps. Like, did she have one of those porches where you had steps and then you went onto a porch and then you went into the house?
Yeah.
Okay. Close to the steps. Is there, from what you can remember, is there access from the stairs or under? If you were to lay on the ground, could you see under the porch?
I think so. I don't think there was anything really blocking it. I think it was just kind of like one of the porches, and it just had like the like a stabilizer that it like sat on with the 4 posts.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe it was open, that you could get underneath there.
But
not that I want to crawl underneath there with the snakes and stuff, but
close to the steps, wrapped in something, you will find what looks like a book or a diary of some kind. That's hers. And that's her handwriting.
I'll have to check that out next time we go up there.
Don't be worried of the snakes when you go to put your hand in there, because the snakes are protecting it. But they know you. What are you laughing at?
I don't like snakes. I just can't. I just can't. I've always been scared of snakes. I don't know what it is. I just can't with snakes.
She said, I don't know why you're afraid, because they're protectors.
I know. And it's supposed to be like my like animal or whatever with my zodiac sign and stuff, but I don't know what it is with snakes.
You're the snake. But she said you need to go back up there sometime within the year. Within a year. She's referring to a year. Within a year. There is something that is underneath that porch, and it is buried, and it is for you only. She said she was close to you. She was referring to being close to you more than anybody else.
Well, let's see. My brother never really went with us up there, and my sister, we're 5 years apart, so she was just a baby.
Like 3. Yeah.
So,
but there was something that she saw in you. So, and I, with all seriousness, I will eat my socks with ketchup if there is nothing underneath that porch.
All right. Well, we'll have to go up there, and next trip to Tennessee, we'll have to swing
It's like
by.
she's standing on the porch and she's pointing down like this in front of the door. But she's standing closer to the steps, and she's doing this, pointing down. Jen, I have never felt more strong about a feeling or what spirit is telling me, other than, you know, the whole prophesying thing tonight, other than this. There was something, hopefully it wasn't disintegrated too badly. Desiree made a comment, hoping that it's not too disintegrated before you get a chance to look at it. I think she well protected it. I think it's weathered. I don't think it's in perfect condition, but I think you will. There's going to be. Okay, I know we're running out of time, but I'm going to say this, and I want you to look dead at me right here. Okay. Because I'm this here is going, you know, that can go as far as the chat. You are going to know exactly what to do with that book. And when you grab that book and you look in it, it's going to be like you're transported back there and you understand everything. Like, I don't know whether it's her life or her recipes or some kind of some kind of like grimoire or something. But I think you are finally going to understand where you belong. Because I think you've struggled with that as far as what your gifts and things that you have, and kind of struggling with trying to understand what to do with it, or where you got it, how to use it, how to this, how to that. I think it's going to all come flooding. And you're going to understand that you were meant to be, and she's referring to the words Appalachian backwoods root magic.
That would make sense, because like I said, I know she was always doing something when we got there. And like in my mind, like I can still see, when I was standing in the front room and looking in the kitchen when she was putting everything together. And I even remember as a little kid, when I looked at everything, that's what stood out to me. Like I felt like, this is like a witch's cabin. Like this is, and stuff like that. So
do you remember her humming?
Mm-hmm.
Like humming when she was putting stuff in the pot? She wasn't humming, she was spelling. She was saying a blessing over that. She was saying a spell over top of it, under her breath. We all understand that words have energy, words have power. You must be careful what you say, even if it is muttered under your breath. The other realm can hear it. It doesn't care if it's a whisper or if you're muttering something under your breath. She was spell casting. She was making stuff that you had to say spells over in order to make them work. And that's where you belong, whether you like it or not. That is your heritage. You are a healer. You are one who, and it's going to act. I swear to God, I have never felt so right about something in my entire life. Rarely. I shouldn't say I've never, but this is something you need to go back, because it's going to be like, you're going to take one look at that book that she's got, the diary, whether it's got recipes in it or whatever, and you are going to know, you're not going to know what the hell you're picking out in the backyard or out in here and out wherever, and what you're putting in a pot. You're going to know that it feels right. It's like automatic. When someone does automatic writing, like the spirit just takes over their hand and starts writing, that they're physically here, but mentally, woo, outer space, gone somewhere. Yeah. Like outer space, gone somewhere. But you're going to know. You're going to look to yourself like, how do I know that this is, I don't know, marshmallow? How do I know that this is Colts? Oh, how do I know that this is, sarsaparilla or the mushrooms right to eat? I don't know. I just feel like I know what I'm doing. Natural. Her spirit's going to come to you and teach you. And you will hear whispering. I don't know why she's making me do this. What is this? She's making me do this. But you're going to be hearing whispering, and it's almost like she is teaching you. And you're going to start saying things. Almost like in a tantric state, where you're physically here, but your brain, somewhere else. And you are Fanny. But you're going to know. It's good. It's weird. Remember when I said you're going to be like gone out there, but you're standing beside yourself, watching yourself do this. Girl, if you don't go back to Tennessee and get that damn book, I may beat you to it. I may, tickle, torture your sister to find out where that address is and go myself.
Yeah, I have to. we have I think a trip coming up. We've been talking about heading down to towards South Carolina for Christmas. So we'll just have to take a detour.
Okay. So I'm going to look very close in the camera. Bruce, you see this eyeball. You see this eyeball right here. This eyeball right here. You need to make this happen, sir. I know he's watching. I know he's going to watch after. I know he's in that other room somewhere. That's your Aunt Fanny, honey. She was a root magic worker.
Yeah.
She knew exactly what she was doing.
I don't doubt it. Like I said, I could feel it as a little kid. I just knew. And she lived there in that 1-bedroom little cabin all to herself.
I'm gonna slap you silly if you don't go. I will slap you silly. I will come to your house and beat you with a wet pool noodle.
I'll get there.
Yeah. Because me and Mama Dukes was planning on going down to Tennessee again at some point. We may take a detour. I'll tickle your sister to death and find out where that cabin is. Beat you to it. I'll send you a video. Go, look what I got. Look what I got. No, she would never let me have it. Your Aunt Fanny would never let me have it.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be any way of getting it. But just to see the look on your face. And I want a video. If you find it, I want a video from you going, look what I found. Look what I found. Look, I found it. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay. We have jabbered for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. You want to give everybody your email address? Tell them if they want something to talk about or they want us to talk about a subject, please
send us an email. My email has been empty, but it is jendodson79@gmail.com.
Absolutely. And mine is same thing. Please. This was so interesting. We went off on a tangent. We didn't think we were going to have nothing to talk about. We stalled, and then all of a sudden, look what happened. There was channeling going on, a whole bunch of other shite that happened. See what happens when I just lose control of myself. It is ghostwhisperer318@gmail.com. ghostwhisperer318@gmail.com. If you have something you would like for us to talk about, I don't care what it is. We will talk about it because Jen and I, crickets, man, crickets and spooters in my email. That's it. And I don't want to have to sweep out the cricket and the spooters anymore. Although I've made friends with the spooters. Anywho, Jen, this was a great conversation. Even though we had nothing to talk about, we're like, okay, let's just talk about this.
It always works out.
You started out with the sighting of the white buck, man, which just led us on to other things. There's always something to talk about, according to Desiree. You're absolutely right, Desiree. So, any hoodles, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and for those of you who will be watching in the future, because this is going live streamed on the YouTube's page of Corner Cauldron, where you can go back and watch it all over again. If you missed something, or if you have someone, share this with the milkman. Share it with your corner store bodega lady who makes your chopped cheese sandwiches. Share this with your pharmacist, your next door neighbor, the babysitter. I don't care. We will gladly take all the exposure we can get. And hey, watch for us on Monday. I will be on with Bro on Corner Cauldron. What are we going to talk about? Who the hell knows? I have no idea, because I didn't come up with a topic because I've been so busy. I will be away this weekend, so we may be a little late starting on the show because I come back Monday from Gettysburg and Remembrance Day weekend in Gettysburg. So, anywho, Anything else, Jen?
Nope, I got nothing.
I got nothing either. So thank you for watching, all of you that have stayed with us. And we're so blessed to have all of you in the chats. And to those who will be watching later, we are all blessed to have you. Tim, another great show. Thank you ever so much. Love yous. Jen, love you, Witchy Poo sister. And as I always say, love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Keep it witchy, everybody. Keep it witchy.